G'day, wonderful listeners. This is episode 80 of Trev's Talk, and I'm your host, Trev. Last week, I left off explaining that I am the only one who understands how the Moorditj Scholarship Fund project works. No one else knows how to engage schools, acquire co-founders and financial supporters, and bind them all together to make the project function efficiently, thereby advancing education and future prospects of generations of Aboriginal students. To make the project successful now and far into the future, I need to bring it to a stage where it can be easily carried forward for year after year without my intervention. It needs to be made independent of me as soon as possible. Some things have happened in the last week that will help me to move forward with my plan for the scholarship project. Remember me telling you I made a personal plea to CASA's head medical officer by posting her a registered mail letter? Well, she did get the letter, but she did not make any decision. She just passed my case onto the complex cases manager, who advised me for any decision to be made, I must go to their website and do a new online application for medical clearance, and then make an appointment with one of CASA's dame doctors and seek their advice on the best way to move forward to get a Class 2 medical clearance with conditions. The first thing to come to mind when I learnt this was, I wondered, why was I not told I can apply for a conditional Class 2 medical clearance way back in 2024, when the first dame doctor ruled me out of an ordinary Class 2 medical clearance due to mental illness in my past? I could have been saved 18 months of stress and frustration from bashing my head against the wall in trying to appeal their decision to deny me an ordinary Class 2 medical clearance. Then I thought, wait, Trev, hold on, don't get too uppity, just eat humble pie and follow CASA's instructions, and hopefully get the conditional medical clearance you must have if you are to ever fly a plane. I will be following the instructions of the complex cases manager and doing the online application before making an appointment with a dame doctor for a new medical examination. But not right now, as right now I have a bad case of flu, and I will have to wait until it has run its course so I can front up to the dame doctor in as good a state of health as possible. Imagine the CASA's special doctor's attitude towards me if I fronted up to an examination while breathing flu viruses all over him or her. So I will wait a bit longer before acting. In last episode, I pointed out that I had 3 dreams telling me I would pass my flying test. So now I am thinking that this new application for a conditional Class 2 medical clearance will be successful. The letter of personal plea to the head medical officer was passed on to the complex cases manager, and she would surely have read it. So when she gets the online application for conditional Class 2 medical clearance, she will already have knowledge of the conditions I would impose on myself to get clearance to fly. Hopefully this will work in my favour. Anyway, that's enough about my chances to ever fly for the moment. I also said in last episode that I might try to get a story with the ABC whether the head medical officer at CASA gave me a positive or negative decision on me getting a conditional medical clearance. Since that head officer has passed my case on to the complex cases manager without any decision being made, my story idea has gone out the window, so to speak. It seems the best idea now to put the story idea on hold until I get the decision from the complex cases manager. Or maybe even wait until I pass the flying test. Once I get the decision, and if it is in my favour, I will still have to spend several months doing flying lessons before my dreams come true and I do actually pass the flying test as my dreams prophesy. So let's face it, it could be a year yet before I have a story acceptable to the ABC. On a more positive note, I must report that since last week I received a perfect letter from Archbishop Timothy Costello, the head of the Catholic Church in West Australia. I had been getting worried about not hearing from the Catholics and the Salvos, as even though I knew big organisations like them can take a long time to make decisions, that long time seemed to be getting a bit too long. So when I got the Archbishop's letter, I was much relieved before even reading its contents. And then, when I read its contents, I was almost ecstatic, as the Catholic Church had agreed to all the points I had asked for in my interview with the Church's financial guru, Mr. Ward Italiano. This was a real breakthrough. A letter of reference from the Archbishop of Perth listing all the points I had asked for, which would clearly show any reader total agreement with my points by the Church. That letter, combined with the letter the Anglican Archbishop had given me, would open doors for me with every religious organisation in West Australia. And once in the door, I have full confidence that I can persuade anyone that the Moorditj Scholarship Fund project is worth their full support. And to further top that, I have the referral from Vinnie's, and maybe from the Salvos as well. Speaking of the Salvos, I explained last week that they were not yet fully committed to co-founding the Scholarship Fund, and Chelsea had emailed a query to the Salvos National Command in the eastern states, which has not yet been responded to. So when I received the referral from the Catholic Archbishop, I quickly attached a copy to an email and sent it to Chelsea, suggesting she forward it on to her national command to show that the three other co-founders, Anglican, Vinnie's, and now Catholic, are all totally on board with the Scholarship Fund, and if the Salvo should agree to join us, then what a powerful ecumenical statement that would be. I thought that if the Salvo's National Command saw the great referral from the Catholics, then that might push them over the edge and cause them to decide on joining the Scholarship Fund project as the fourth and final co-founder required for the local Aboriginal school. If Pastor Margaret from the Victory Life Church, I mentioned to you last episode, responds to the letter I sent requesting a meeting and finishes up wanting to become a co-founder, then I would use her church as the first co-founder for one of the schools surrounding our local Aboriginal school. Then I would select some more organisations in Perth to capture as co-founders to the same school as Pastor Margaret, and have not one school covered by our Moorditj Scholarship Fund project, but two schools. This method of reaching out to organisations to co-found the Scholarship Fund for some selected school can be repeated and involve many schools. Can you see what I see? This Moorditj Scholarship Fund project has great potential. Mr. Freeman, Pete, the principal of Moorditj Noongar Community College, the local Aboriginal school, is committed to being the contact person for scholarship students and parents and has direct contact with the principals of the 4 other local schools with large cohorts of Aboriginal students. Pete is the reason we can expand into those local schools. That gets us schools to work with, and my job is to pitch the Scholarship Fund project to any organisations that I can get to help fund the scholarships. The collaboration between Pete and me is ideal to greatly expand the Scholarship Fund project over the next few years. Then the project would be running systematically and could be handed over to a larger charity with staff to take the Scholarship Fund into the distant future. Well, wonderful listeners, that's it again for this week. I look forward to chatting to you again next week. This is Trev, tuning out.